When it comes to doing business in China and India, a few things to consider. China and India have huge economic potential and the two largest populations in the world. In 2020, China's population is estimated to be 1.4 billion, and India not too far behind with an estimated population of 1.38 billion. Just to put that into context, Australia's population is 25.5 million. So as you can see, a massive difference. In 2019, China is predicted to surpass Japan as the second largest luxury market in the world. From a top 10 perspective of the largest luxury markets in the world, it includes Japan, China, United States, Russia, Germany, Italy, France, UK, Brazil, Spain, and Switzerland. And these 10 countries account for almost 83% of overall sales in luxury goods. Companies like Starbucks have taken off in India despite competition from other global competitors, such as Gloria Jeans and Costa Coffee. The largest coffee chain in India is called CCD, which stands for Cafe Coffee Day. Very popular in India. And many affluent Indians have experienced Starbucks on their travels outside of India. So when Starbucks opens up locally, it's almost seen as a way to relive your holiday experience. In a cafe chain market with an annual growth of 20% and estimated worth of 300 billion, Starbucks is presenting itself as an aspirational brand in an attempt to overthrow CCD as the dominant local coffee chain in India, which would be quite an achievement considering not too long ago Starbucks was in a lot of trouble financially. Governments range from no private ownership and minimal individual freedom to little central government and maximum personal freedom. In today's world, you see less and less of the first part, as in no private ownership and minimal individual freedom. But examples of countries that were more like this in the past would have been the former Soviet countries or communist countries, whereas little central government and maximum personal freedom would be free market economies, some more democratic countries. Over the years, we've also seen a growth in national sentiment. Nationalism is an ideology and movement that promotes the interest of a particular nation as a group of people, especially with the aim of gaining and maintaining the nation's sovereignty or self-governance over its homeland. Nationalism also encourages pride in a nation's achievement and is closely linked with patriotism. Politically, this also leads to potential for countries to nationalize certain industries and organizations. For example, India, after independence, nationalized a lot of industries to consolidate and compete better with international organizations who the Indian government feared would able to easily outcompete the local market. Venezuela, under previous governments, also nationalized industries such as the oil industry, and in countries such as Kuwait and Saudi Arabia, their mineral resources are nationalized, as in the oil assets are owned by the entire country, not just one company. As a company or business going into countries with a rising nationalist outlook, this can come with quite a few risks. For example, the market could disappear overnight and our business with it. As such, there are some legal considerations we have to consider, such as tariff, quota, boycott, exchange control, market grouping, and trade agreement. So to avoid another company, as an international company, taking over a local market, the government can introduce a tariff, which is a tax levied on goods entering a country. Quotas limit on the amount of a product that can enter a country, and boycott is exclusion of a product from a country. For example, due to political reasons, You'll often hear in the news one country boycotts all products from another country, as in the other country can't send anything to the country that boycotts it. Exchange controls is when foreign exchange must be sold to a control agency, and market grouping is a common trade alliance. And lastly, trade agreements is an agreement to stimulate international trade. For example, in North America, you've got NAFTA, North American Free Trade Alliance. Basically allows businesses in the US or Canada or Mexico to conduct businesses in each other's country and send goods backwards and forwards without tariff, without quota, and without the chances of being boycotted, which basically increases the opportunity for trade and for business to occur. But of course, in trade agreements, you can have limitations as well, as in a free trade scenario, you can still choose certain industries to protect, for example, agriculture or even defense. But overall, a trade agreement is seen as a good thing. Do be mindful that if your country is not as powerful as the country that you're trading with, there could be adverse consequences, i.e. cost of goods going up, or even shortages of certain products because the wealthier country can afford to buy it at a higher rate. Free trade agreements. A trade liberalization agreement that removes trade barriers between countries, making it easier to do business. For example, if, say, one country wanted to trade with another, they could potentially protect certain industries by creating barriers such as tariff, which is a tax on importing certain products. In a free trade agreement, two countries or even several countries, maybe the entire region or a zone, like the EU, European Union. Say in North America, they have the NAFTA. NAFTA is North American Free Trade Alliance, which basically gets rid of or removes trade barriers, allowing it easier for one country to trade with another.